The Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak demo is now here, so we can finally test out the bow and some of its new skills. The bow has been a weapon that I've absolutely loved in the base game version of Rise because of how strong and powerful it is, and quite frankly because of how cool aerial aim is. So in this one we'll take a look at the skills that are available to us within the demo. If you do enjoy these videos, click like down below and subscribe to the channel to show support, and comment down below which of the 3 ranged options in Monster Hunter Rise, bow, heavy bowgun, light bowgun, do you think is best. Remember, this is a demo, so when you pick a weapon type, you do get a preset loadout that you cannot see the skills, the stats, or the details of, as well as the fact that the balance changes within the demo are very likely different from the main game, so the damage numbers and everything else may not represent what the weapon is like in the actual full version of Sunbreak. Out of the 2 revealed Sunbreak skills for the bow, the demo is missing the stake thrust ability, which would have been really cool to test out because it's basically a damage buff for the hunter. The description for that skill is that an attack that thrusts an explosive stake into your target. The stake reacts to follow-up attacks, dealing extra damage to the target, and the amount of extra damage dealt is determined by the type of arrow loosed. It would have been really great to test what that means by the type of arrow loosed, so that we could give you a better idea of which arrow type would give you the most bang for your buck in terms of DPS with that move. But in this demo, we only have access to Butcher's Bind, which is a pretty cool move as well, so we're going to go over exactly what it does and how that all works. The description for the Butcher's Bind is that you fire an arrow loaded with Iron Silk. If a follow-up arrow lands in the same spot as the first, the Iron Silk winds around both arrows, inflicting severing damage. If the second arrow is off target though, the lodged arrow disappears. This is a really cool move that is one of the few that focuses on causing a particular type of damage, in this case severing, meaning as a bow user you have another really decent option to cut tails off of monsters to help your team out to get those extra calves. This move only costs 1 wire bug to use and has a cooldown of around 9 seconds, meaning it can be used fairly rapidly. In addition to that, when you've attached it to a monster, it lasts for a pretty long time, so don't feel pressured to shoot the second shot instantly. You can take your time, really aim, and make sure to land it so that you get use of that extra severing damage without wasting the skill. You want to take your time because obviously missing that follow-up shot will mean that the tether to the target will disappear. So it's much better to wait an extra few seconds and aim than to shoot prematurely and miss and waste the skill and have to wait for your silk bug. If you successfully land the secondary hit, the damage of the follow-up proc seems to scale with the amount of charge that you had when you shot the bind. So holding down your bow charge or shooting at the end of a combo will mean that you'll maximize the damage you can do with it, at least from our testing. In addition, you're freely able to move around and aim after the bind has been attached. So keep this in mind if the monster is not in the ideal position for you to do the follow-up shot. Also beware, if the monster runs too far away, the bind will disconnect, so you need to make sure you stay within critical range, not just for the extra damage, but also so the tether doesn't disappear. Furthermore, you can use this move mid or at the end of a combo, but do beware that the cast time is slightly longer, so that might make you a bit vulnerable. Overall, it's a very nice and fun option for bow users, but only time will tell if it will become a staple that you will want to use in every hunt. It seems very situational and will obviously depend on monsters that have parts that need severing, but it is a nice option to have for bow users nonetheless. On the channel we have lots of other weapon previews for you if you're curious about the other weapons in Sunbreak, but for now we'll leave you with some gameplay so that you can see how the bow is in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.